Hey guys, it's ShadowRock with your Mega News Roundup for May 17th, 2021. It's been a couple weeks since the last Mega News, so we do have quite a bit of catching up to do. And boy do we have a variety of topics today, from the deep log to fan projects too. So let's rock. As always, we're kicking things off in the deep log, which apparently has come down with a case of the Sigma virus. Not only is the Sigma virus coming to Rockman X DiVE as a raid boss, but apparently the virus has infected the Rockman X DiVE Asian Twitter as well, as both of the trailers they recently posted on there have resulted in playback errors when you try to watch them on Twitter. It works on YouTube, just not Twitter. It's very fitting, isn't it? They did eventually fix the Sigma virus trailer, but with the other latest trailer that we'll get to in a moment, yep, the playback error is back. Well, the only true cure for this problem is us player-sans, as we take on the Sigma virus raid boss this Wednesday. As for the boss fight itself, like previous raid bosses, this one is very faithful to his original fight in X2. There's a couple of major differences though. One, you can no longer move around when Sigma has you trapped inside his head, and two concerns the kinds of enemies he can summon. In the past, he would summon smaller enemies that can be taken down with a couple buster shots, but this time, he's bringing in the ride armors, the cannon drivers, and enemies that can stun you with their shots for good measure. Wow, not only is that going to do major damage to you, it's also going to make the fight even more annoying than before. That's to be expected from Rockman X DiVE these days though. Your bonus damage characters for this raid boss are, fittingly enough, Sax himself, coming in at a 40% damage bonus. Wow, finally they get it right. Then we have Zero, Base, and the assault rifle weapon, bringing up the rear at 20% bonus damage. Well, there is one more character that can deal 40% bonus damage to the Sigma virus, and that's our new capsule for this week. In a turn of events that could be called another boss becoming a character, but not quite at the same time, Vile Mark II is finally getting his spotlight in Rockman X DiVE. And this guy wants his ride back. After X1 Vile swiped it from him before the official release of X DiVE, there was a time when the devs were going to put Vile Mark II into the cockpit of the Goliath, but for whatever reason they decided to put Vile from X1 in there, right before he was supposed to release. We joked back then that it was the ultimate deep log error, and it really was. But things are right in the deep log once again, with Vile Mark II reclaiming the Goliath for himself. Mark II's character animation begins with him showing off his stuff, his bullet rounds, flame rounds, before jumping into the Goliath and striking the obligatory character art pose. Speaking of the character art, I have to give my props once again to the X DiVE devs on Vile Mark II's artwork. He's looking really cool. Gameplay wise, Vile Mark II plays a bit like Tron Bonne, except with the Goliath instead of the Gustav. Which brings us to his first skill, which obviously is summoning the Goliath. Doing this will change his moveset to punching, his light S charge shot thing, and the lunging punch, which is obviously very similar skill sets to what the regular right armors have, with the exception of what the trailer calls the light S. Now I just hope that operating the Goliath doesn't suck as much as piloting the right armors in DiVE, but maybe. We'll have to see. In this part we also get a sneak peek at one of his passive skills, which increases his damage and it can stack 6 times. Now the second skill is Flame Round, which is his fire pillars from X2. Once deployed, the Flame Round can bounce off of walls back and forth, dealing some extra damage as long as the enemy is on the ground. Looks like a decent skill for Jacob Orbital Elevator and other situations where you may be surrounded by many ground-based enemies. One of the skill cards for the Flame Round will give you increased range and allow the Flame Round to rebound off of barriers. Now I don't know if they mean like shields or this is the skill card that literally enables the rebound. Only one way to find out, but it's probably the latter. That's all we got from Vile Mark II, but we also have a new launcher type weapon coming with his banner. It's called the Absolute Freeze, and basically it's a launcher that fires ice rounds, meaning it can inflict slow, which is pretty unique for a launcher. Vile players might appreciate this one. As for the reference this weapon is going for, personally it reminded me of Blizzak's Stagroth from Mega Man Zero, but honestly speaking, it's hard to pinpoint what it actually is. What do you think? Anyway, that's the highlight of the main content coming to the game this Wednesday. The Sigma Virus Raid Boss, File Mark II, the Absolute Freeze launcher, which actually that one is a limited weapon, so it looks like this is going to be a limited weapon banner this time. And there you go. But that's not all the dive news we have for today. A few days ago, we had another dive time with producer Yoda. This time, this is an announcement only concerning people who live in Taiwan, but it does concern a new S-rank weapon, so may as well cover it. Rockman X DiVE is having a collaboration with the snack company Oyatsu to bring you these ramen star snack packs that are dive themed. If you live in Taiwan, you can pick up these packs at your local 7-Eleven, and inside the packs you will have codes that you can redeem in the game for some prizes. On the whole, it's pretty basic stuff like card packs, boxes, and that kind of stuff. But the real big prize is the new S-rank weapon, the Ramen Greatsword. Yes, it's literally a ramen noodle sword. Isn't that funny? Although nothing is going to beat the Squid Sword. Oh no. There's also a chance you could win a E-Ready scooter. But come on, why do you need a scooter when we got Ride Chasers? Ride Chasers and Dive win. There was some speculation whether the codes inside the packs would be reshareable. That would be hilarious if it was, but considering that you're going to get different prizes for putting in the code, it's probably going to be unique to each pack, which would be the smart thing to do. But yeah, once again, this is only a promotion in Taiwan, and there's no way other people in other regions are going to be able to participate unless you literally import the snacks for yourself. It is what it is, but I will say these collaborations are a neat idea. I can only dream of walking into my local 7-Eleven and buying Mega Man stuff to apply to a game. And for you guys in Taiwan, wish granted. Our last major dive news for today is an update on the rumored Steam port. Our friend Protodude at Rockman Corner recently shared the assets, which have been updated recently, to include a Steam icon, plain as day, which you can see on screen right now. You may notice it's surrounded by the Apple, Facebook, and Line icons, and in game, these icons represent different ways to log in to your Rockman X DiVE account. For example, I personally have my account tied to my Twitter account, so in that same way, you'll be able to bind your Rockman X DiVE account to your Steam account, at least when this goes live. Right now, the icon is just hidden in the data, waiting for the day it is actually used. Hopefully that day comes soon and we will hear about a Steam port in due time. But for now, all we have is the icon and the different strings that have been in the data for a while now to go off on. In conclusion, they are clearly getting ready for a Steam release, but there's no announcements yet on the release date or anything like that. Once again, we gotta be patient. To truly end off our dive segment for today, here's a quick recap of what came to the game last week, which is not too much. We had a new filler race event, which oddly enough is based on the Mega Man Battle Network event stage we got. Perhaps they're hinting at some new Battle Network characters coming? Who knows? Poor Star Force though, still missing in action. Well, at least the Star Force fans live on in the hearts of the fans. And boy, us Star Force fans are about to get a real treat at the end of this month. Prof 9 has announced that Mega Man Star Force DX will finally be coming out on May 29th, which means it's coming out next Saturday. Dang, that's so close. For those that have never heard about Mega Man Star Force DX before, this is a mod for Star Force 1 that's going to serve as the definitive way to play this game. The basic idea behind Mega Man Star Force DX is it modernizes Star Force 1, bringing it more in line with Star Force 2 and 3, as well as combining all of the version exclusive elements from the 3 versions, bringing it into one package. That means you have access to all the Star Force transformations and even all the satellite admin bosses. but there is a whole lot more going on with this mod. We've already covered quite a bit of it in previous Mega News episodes, but here's a quick recap of some of the announced features. The font has been updated to the Star Force 2 and 3 font, which makes the game way more readable. Star cards from Star Force 2 and on are implemented. You can now do cut-in chains and PvP. EM-Wave based character mugshots have been tweaked to make it so their animations are more smooth. We have a way to access the different warp points in the game with a controller thanks to the pulse beam. Here's a really big one. The Lunar Nights scenario has been fully restored, complete with an English translation. And that's not the only Lunar Nights theme being added to the game. Since you are going to be able to obtain all 3 of the Star Force transformations, each of them have been tweaked to be more unique from one another. Ice Pegasus is focused on speed and tech, Fire Leo is based on raw power, and Green Dragon is based on defense and countering. And like I said earlier, you can fight all of these satellite admins, and that's actually how you get all the Star Force forms in DX. At different points in the game, the satellite admins will email you, letting you know that their test is ready, then you fight them and get their form. Next up, NPCs will have quest icons next to their transfer icons, giving the player an easy visual aid to let you know that the NPC has a quest available. Speaking of quests, you'll now be able to take on multiple quests at once. You can check which quests you've taken on from the email menu, which now has a section specifically for quests. And for doing all the quests this time around, you get a Giga card. By the way, did I mention that every single Giga card from all 3 versions are going to be in DX? Yes, that includes the event-only Andromeda card. Oh baby! On top of that, a couple of quests have been restored, like Luna Platts and Bud Bison, who were originally supposed to have a quest, but were scrapped for whatever reason, although they were recycled for Star Force 2 later on. Either way, you can do them now in Star Force 1. There have been several menu tweaks that just brings it more in line with the later games, and Geo's mugshot will also always reflect his current mood in the game. There's a new menu that's been added to the Mega menu, which is the EM database. Like Prof 9 himself says, this is basically a Pokédex, but for viruses and bosses. The database will keep track of every single virus and boss you have fought, including whether you have landed a counter hit on them before. And according to Prof 9, counter hits will be valuable, as it will result in a reward if you get a lot of counter hits. But the real reason why the database is so cool is because you can view the battle info, reward info, and area info for each different virus. No longer will you have to scour GameFAQs for all the information you need to 100% complete the game. You can view what the virus does, what it drops, and up to 4 areas that are easily findable in order to complete that library. You're also able to sort the bosses by their version 1, EX, and SP versions once you unlock them. This is such a cool addition, and I wish other Battle Network and Star Force games did this. Here's another awesome addition. Just like in Star Force 2 and 3, you can now have up to 2 save files in Star Force DX. What's more, there has been tweaks to make saving a bit faster than the vanilla game as well. However, there is the caveat that saves from a vanilla Star Force 1 game are definitely not going to be compatible with Star Force DX. But to be honest, there's so much stuff going on here, I think it's totally worth playing this from the very beginning anyways. There's some other things that have been added. The quick gauge and slow gauge have been added from the later Star Force games. They work pretty much like they did in the later entries. For you sadists out there that love a good challenge, Legend Mode is being added to Star Force DX, and you can toggle this difficulty on or off at any point in the game. However, there is a reward in it for you if you complete the game start to finish with Legend Mode enabled. What does Legend Mode do exactly? Well, here's some ideas. Enemies will have 1.5 times HP, they become faster and more aggressive, Mega Man takes twice the damage, Mega Man can now be counter hit by enemies in single player, oh dear. Mega Man will now take twice the damage from super effective attacks, and your own super effective attacks will only deal 1.5 damage instead of 2 times damage. With Legend Mode, you're no longer going to be able to para-hack a boss to death. In other words, they're immune to the same status effect being inflicted over and over, so you're going to have to mix up your strategies a bit. You can't use Cypher Mail until the credits, and you will no longer get HP recovery rewards from battles. So stock up on those sub cards. Of course, all these things I listed are subject to change in the final release, so do keep that in mind. A couple more tweaks include resuming the overworld music after battles, and Mega Man still blinking when he's in invis or after being damaged during a pause. Regarding sub cards, Fire Surge, Aqua Surge, Elect Surge, and Wood Surge are now in the game. Cloaker and Search Eye have also been tweaked to be more like their Star Force 2 and 3 counterparts. Thank God. Oh, and taking a page out of Pokemon, you can now use multiple subcards in a row on the overworld instead of going back into the menu. Do you want to use another repel? Now, we talked about how you can get all 3 of these Star Force transformations and fight all the admins. What about the deep space area though, and can you change your transfer to a different satellite? Well, yes you can. Now, Geo's transfer is going to be aligned to Pegasus for the story, but once you beat the game, you can talk to a jammer in Deep Space 1 to change to Leo and Green Dragon as well. Doing this will allow you to fight a different admin at the end of the Deep Space area once you get there. Also, the different admin EX and SP versions will be assigned to different Deep Space areas. Fitting because there are 3 of them. Another nice tweak is that EX Ghost Waves are now available to be seen just like in Star Force 2, so they'll be much easier to find. In Mega Man Star Force DX, brother bands have been tweaked as well, since you know the DS Wi-Fi is now defunct, and what if you don't have friends anyway? Well, that's okay. First of all, Sonia, Luna, and Bud has been tweaked to reflect different satellite admins. Sonia is Pegasus, Luna is Green Dragon, and Bud is Leo. In addition, you can make brother bands with the Lunar Knights characters to access some extra content. And that's not all. At some point in the game, you'll also be able to create brother bands with yourself? Yeah, these are called copy brothers. Basically, the game will take a copy of your current status and make it a brother. That means when you get to the post game, you can make your own copy Pegasus, Leo, or Green Dragon brothers with whatever mugshots you want to. Although until you reach level 100, the mugshots will be grayscale. And even later in the game, you can start picking from mugshots based on characters in the game. So here you go, Sapphire, you can finally be a brother with Pat. Okay, almost there. Just a few more to cover. Hope you like the Harp Note minigame from the storyline, because now there's a 1000 note challenge. By doing this challenge, you can exchange star frags for different prizes, like a Giga card, which seems to be Poison Pharaoh in this case. Another way to get star frags is by defeating the different G-viruses in the overworld. By the way, G-viruses are how you get star cards. Defeating all the G-viruses gives you a Giga card, so definitely look out for them. Hey, do you like some funny jokes? Well, Humor Word is back in Star Force 1. Nice. And lastly, extra folders are coming back. And instead of running back and forth between different NPCs, once you obtain an extra folder, you can freely change it in the folder menu. Nice. Why are extra folders in this game though? Well, looks like time trials are a thing. Yeah. And that's pretty much the gist of what's in Mega Man Star Force DX. Now keep in mind, even with all this, I haven't covered it all. I've only scratched the surface. There are surely going to be some things that haven't been announced yet, and a lot more details in the forum post by Prof 9 themselves, so I encourage you to check out the link in the description below for even more information on all the nitty gritty details you can shake a Mega Weapon at. Once again, the mod is out on May 29th. Extract the ROM from your cards or obtain it through other methods, apply the patch, and there you go. Can't wait to check it out. We're definitely going to be doing a stream on this, so stay tuned. I truly believe this is going to be the best way to experience Star Force 1 when it comes out. In other fan game news, Mega Man X Engine Demo version 1.1 has been released. In the demo, you can check out each of X's different armors, Zero and Black Zero, and even Axel in 16-bit fashion with the white Axel form included. Seems like Chill Penguin is the only boss in the demo right now, but there's some other stages to check out like Storm Eagle, Flame Stag, and Neon Tiger. All in all, this is a fascinating project, and it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I especially like that you can individually select each of X's armor parts, and even in X Engine, Texas Charge Shot takes a cue from Rockman X DiVE, which itself takes that cue from the X3 project mod. Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun to play around with. Check out the trailer in the link below. Now, we gotta follow up those awesome fan game announcements with a bit of a downer one. As reported by the Rockman EXE Zone, Capcom recently filed a DMCA takedown towards Valve concerning the Mega Man Battle Network and Toho fan game Dreamforce Hartmann, which was set to be released on Steam for free with an early access demo in the works. So basically Capcom said, no, you can't put this on Steam. This is a somewhat similar situation to what happened to Shanghai EXE, another Toho and Mega Man Battle Network crossover game. What happened with Shanghai is that it had a Patreon account, and as with any other video game company, Capcom is very much against you making money off of their IPs, unless it is through methods like YouTube monetization, which we do, provided your content is transformative, as it's stated in the video guidelines. Basically, Capcom doesn't want you to put their IP's content behind a paywall. After that initial takedown, the Shanghai EXE project did try to restart itself, but it was swiftly taken down again with another DMCA notice from Capcom. Then in the most recent instance, Capcom filed a takedown for a fan-made Rockman EXE Phantom of Network remake. Now that one was odd. Definitely got us thinking, what if Capcom was trying to do something with Phantom of Network themselves? Either way, Capcom's been hard on the Battle Network fan games lately, but in the case of Shanghai, they definitely had a good reason for doing it. The Phantom of Network remake? I don't know. Like I covered in the past, Capcom has always been lenient on fan games. You almost never see them go after a fan game to take it down, unless either A, you're making a profit off of it, or B, Capcom is working on something similar in the pipeline. The most famous example of that was the Resident Evil 2 remake. But yeah, out of those two factors, they've never gone full Nintendo about this before. So from here on, this is all my personal opinion and conjecture. I'm not gonna speak on behalf of Capcom or anything like that. Other than that, in the DMCA claim, Capcom does cite the Rockman EXE characters and map levels. Now to be fair, from my limited knowledge of the game, there does not appear to be any Battle Network characters in Dreamforce Hartmann. It's pretty much 100% Toho, but in a Battle Network style gameplay. Now the map thing, I think I know where they're coming from with that. If you look at the screenshots, it's pretty obvious this game is unapologetically just like a Battle Network game. You got the overworld maps, you even got the same identical grids in the battles. In regards to characters, maybe they're talking about these enemies here that look pretty much like Metars, even though there's nothing in the game that's directly ripped from Battle Network. They're all original assets, but they are close enough to where you're like, okay, yeah, I know what they're going for with that one. In addition, you got some character art here, like this one, that appears to mimic hub-style Mega Man. And this is where the controversy comes in, because really, in most cases, you can't copyright a gameplay style. But sure, you can copyright the characters, levels, and other game content. And again, the game was supposed to be free, so you think it would be fine. In my personal opinion, I think what really put the nail in this coffin was them trying to put the game on Steam. That, from the get-go, was really sketchy and was honestly an awful idea. Okay, sure, you should be able to distribute your fan games wherever you want, but for the love of God, don't put it on Steam, an officially supported platform by Capcom. That was just asking for trouble, oh my goodness. To put things into perspective, you got this game that, yes, it uses Toho characters or whatever, but some may look at this and say, oh, this is a Battle Network ROM hack. At least it looks like one. And you're trying to put that on Steam? Even though the game was apparently going to be free, I think that's still crossing the line, and I have no idea why they thought they weren't going to get a takedown notice. And it may not just be because the devs themselves are profiting from it, since it's free, but it does give Valve some publicity and possibly other benefits just from the fact that they're the ones hosting the game. And I would ask why it got to the point that Valve was going to host this game on Steam, but then again, this is Steam we're talking about. The same platform that hosts a whole bunch of low quality, low effort asset flips. Of course, none of this is a knock against the devs behind Dreamforce Hartmann. From what I can see, it looks really cool actually, and I do wish them luck with their endeavors in the future. It seems like from now on, they're going to be trying to tweak the game to be a lot less like Battle Network, and I think that's the right way to go. But again, putting it on Steam, it's not a good idea. It's just putting a target on your back, especially right now when Capcom is aware of these Toho crossover games. I think after Shanghai, trying to do a project like this is just asking for trouble. Yeah, it sucks because I know people really enjoyed this kind of concept. I think it's pretty neat too, but it is what it is. All I can say is be more careful in the future. But otherwise, I do wish them luck with what they're going to do with this game in the future. And hopefully they will be able to release this on other platforms besides Steam and all that. Good luck! Alright, let's step out of the fan game stuff and get into some official news. Do you guys remember the Mega Man board game that Jasco released some years ago? It seemed like some people liked that game, but it was pretty difficult to get a gist of how to play it. Well, Jasco Games is trying the whole Mega Man board game concept again, but this time with Mega Man All-Stars. This was just announced recently, and just like the other board game, this one will also be on Kickstarter soon. As the name of the game suggests, this is going to feature literally every single character from the Mega Man Classic series. Yes, every single Robot Master, even the Star Droids too. The basic concept behind the game is inspired by Hitoshi Ariga's Mega Man Megamix. Players are tasked with defending Dr. Light's lab from a horde of Robot Masters and Star Droids. You must defeat them, acquire their special weapons to create a loadout. Lastly, you will end up at the final boss battle of Dr. Wily and hopefully accomplish your mission. You're going to have 4 playable characters right off the bat, and each of these characters are teamed up with an animal buddy. So we have Mega Man and Rush, Roll and Beat, Proto Man and Tango, that's a deep cut, and Bass and Treble. Jasco is also hinting that there is a possibility you'll be able to play as Robot Masters as well, maybe by using the cards rather than figures or something, but if so, that's going to be awesome too. So like I said, this game is coming on Kickstarter pretty soon. We don't know when or any details about that right now, but in the meantime, Jasco Games did host a live stream when they announced the board game, which you can check out in the link in the description. There they discuss more about what Mega Man All-Stars is all about, and even show off some new special weapon artwork. Some of the Mega Man 8 weapons in particular, like Water Balloon, Tornado Hold, Ice Wave, Thunderclaw, Flame Sword, Homing Sniper, Flash Bomb, and Astro Crush. Oh wait, that was all the Mega Man 8 weapons. Just missing Mega Ball. The key artwork that you see, as well as all the special weapon artwork presumably, is done by Armando Cianoza, who confirms that all the artwork is indeed approved by Capcom. Yes, this is an officially licensed Capcom product, of course. All in all, this project ought to be one that should get board enthusiasts seeing stars. We'll keep you updated on the Kickstarter info when it comes out, but in the meantime, enjoy the live stream. Now here's a couple manga related news. After Hitoshi Ariga worked on Rockman Gigamix, he came up with a concept known as Rockman Nanomix. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the project never saw the light of day. Fast forward to today, 10 years later, Hitoshi Ariga has took to Twitter to give us a little taste of what Rockman Nanomix could have been. This one in particular features a lot of Dustman love, and it's definitely worth checking out if you got the time. Like with Rockman-san and Rockman-chan, there have been English and Spanish translations by Midori and Aldo respectively. We'll have links to those in the description below. Speaking of Rockman-chan and San, Rockman-chan Chapter 2 is available to read now, although at the time of this video, the English and Spanish translations are still in the works, but we will post them in the description below when they are released. Rockman-san, on the other hand, was supposed to have his second chapter released on the same day, but it has been delayed until further notice. Anyway, Rockman-chan Chapter 2 features Waveman and lots of Rush love. We even get this transformation of Rush, which is basically like the power adapter, but with Rush's head. Well, that's cursed. Though maybe not as cursed as the Megazord-like transformation from one of the Rockman mobile games. Anyway, yeah, check it out for yourself. It's a lot of good fun, and once again, don't take it too seriously. It's all a parody. On the subject of Hitoshi Ariga himself, they have an Ariga limited edition metal card available on the Udon store. If you spend $60 US worth on the Mega Man merch store and use the code Ariga, you get this limited edition metal card featuring Mega Man and the Ariga style. Neat! We're starting to wrap things up here, but first, let's listen to some tunes, courtesy of Shinichi Itakura, who was the Mega Man 04 composer. Yeah, you may remember last time we talked about him, he released the demo mix for Falling Down from 04, as well as making a self-cover of the track. Well, he's gone on to release some other demos for other Mega Man 04 tracks as well. These include Black Heart's Beat, Deep Blue, Crossover Station, and Cage of Tyrants. As a bonus, Shinichi Itakura has also made another self-cover for Deep Blue, and another Falling Down mix with an orchestral arrangement. Check them all out in the description below. And thank you, Mr. Itakura, for sharing all this music goodness with us. Definitely give him some love on the videos. It's easy to tell that he loves interacting with the fans. One more music related thing. Music performers hailing from the Mega Man community, the Megas and Mega Ran, are putting on a virtual concert known as Virtua Ongaku 9. They'll also be joined by Super Smack, Lauren the Flute, and Anime Vivi. This also serves as a charity event benefiting the Asian Pacific Fund. It ought to be pretty rocking, and it's for a good cause, so definitely check it out on Saturday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 4 p.m. Pacific Time. It'll be on twitch.tv/Ongaku Overdrive. Good luck to all the performers and rock on. Finally, that's all for our Mega News Roundup for today. What was your favorite part? Are you looking forward to Mega Man Star Force DX, Bio Mark 2 coming to Rockman X DiVE? Let us know in the comments. Watch out for that Sigma virus, and stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for all things Mega Man. Thank you so much to our channel members, including SA class supporters Kaibaman41 and Vint Crystals, and our elite GA class supporters Rose Maverick Saiyan, Adrian Cauldron, Ray Stinger, LML123, Rico Syndrome, and Austin Buford. Thanks a bunch, guys. It's because of your support that we can keep on making videos like this one. We'll see you this Wednesday for Rockman X DiVE and all the other shenanigans we get up to. Until then, rock on and have a great day or night.